Where is it? Okay, there we are. Oh wow. It's been so long. I forgot what this is
We're
like.
here. Yeah. So, are we doing this the top 10 of 2026 then, Deej?
Yeah, it's been that long, right? It's like
It does feel, it does
doesn't it?
kind of feel a little bit like kind of out of practice, a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
just and yet it's only 1 week. We've done this before.
I know.
We've skipped a week, but it
All right.
does feel a little
Steve,
a bit
look at
rusty.
this. We're 32 seconds in, and I haven't ended the show yet, so we're doing well.
Hey, man. Well, that's a win. That's a win.
That's a win.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, if we're talking wins, and I know you haven't been keeping an eye much on the news this week, I was a little bit concerned that the next time we saw each other was going to be down a sniper scope from across a snowy field in Greenland. So it's it's good that that's all sorted. So we're not at war. So everything's so that's a win as well.
Yes, exactly. I
mean, it would have been a 4K HDR sniper scope, obviously.
Of
but,
course.
I figured that's what it was going to be.
Of course. That's what I mean, all kidding aside, all like the crap that goes on in the world and all it's like if I ever was in the military or anything like that, I'd just be knowing me, it's like I just want the coolest tech.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
I'd be like,
drones.
I don't even want that. And it's like, no, because here's the thing. It's like, I like cool tech, and like, for me, it's like, I don't like guns because you can do something.
Are you sure you're American, Deej?
I'm 100% American. Trust me. It was like, but I don't like guns. And this can either sound compassionate or sick because I don't like guns because it's too easy. The victim, you're like, he's too far away. If you're going to take somebody out, you got to be there. You got to feel it, which means you know what I mean? It makes the act too simple. You just pull a trigger and it's like, bye-bye. A bow, to me, is like, it's a shorter distance. There's more skill. I mean, shooting, to be fair, I've shot guns. Shooting a gun takes skill too, but it makes it too simple, right? And it's like the advent of the gun was the idea, like, okay, now you don't need a knife to kill somebody like that, to do that. It's like, so that's my mentality with just that. Now they got drones and you're like, and you're like, you're on your computer in like Nevada and you're like patrolling the world. Yeah. Like, no, I like the tech, like I remember, like I've told the story, like I was almost a ranger, blah, blah, blah. Like there was a part of that commercial when I was a kid where they showed like the army guy and he'd have the glasses on and the infrared and they were like, that's me. I'm like, I'm the sicko coming out of the swamp with the infrared on going, ha ha.
Well, it's not the same since you've seen Silence
there's
of the
another
Lambs.
sicko looking ha ha to me. It's like,
yeah. Well, once you've seen Silence of the Lambs, it's less cool that technical at the end.
Oh, not really. I still liked it, but I'm like, oh, that's cool.
I'd have the drones. I'd have the 60-inch, 4K, 8K screen, air-conditioned office from Nevada, like you say. Cool little thing in and out, great fun. It's like a computer game, so you don't have the guilt afterwards.
Correct.
Everyone's a winner.
See, and that's where it's like, I'm either a sicko or I'm compassionate. It's like, I think you should have that. I think you should have the guilt. I think you should have that feeling. We're human. It's like, you shouldn't be treating other humans as a video game.
Yeah,
that's my thought.
Well, I'd be looking for where to put the next quarter in. Where's the slot for the next? What, game over? What the hell?
Game
go
over.
Again.
I know.
Game over, man.
That's got to be where the video games have gone wrong. Like my generation was like, if you died in the middle of your video game, you're like, oh my God, I just put 4 hours into this and now I got to start over. And it's a 6-hour game, 8-hour game. You know what I mean? Now it's like you get to respawn where you were. At least in my video game training, when I was a kid, it was more close to real life. Whereas kids now are like, no, you can't go out and just respawn. It's like, it's over. It's like, okay.
Well, I've been spending quite a bit of time retro gaming recently. In fact, to that side, so you see that thing there, just in the corner there? That is a retro arcade machine, which has got like Gallagher and Final Fight and Pack Attack and all sorts of games on it. And of course, no more lives, dead, you're dead. That's it. Back you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So all those points,
cool.
like Ready Player One had. You know, you'll lose all your stuff. You start fresh. You're not the billionaire you were or whatever, right? But yeah, it's like,
yeah, but there we go. As I say, cooler heads have prevailed, so we're all friends again now. As I said, I was mildly concerned that you were just gathering intel, and it was all going to be over. But no, it's fine.
no, yeah, that's
it's been an interesting week in global politics as well as locally.
I honestly, I haven't paid attention. I haven't scrolled Twitter. I haven't done anything. Yeah, before we get into the show itself, Steve and I had a little chat before. Yes, I do. I have a lot going on around me right now. A lot of personal stuff going on. That's really hard. So I appreciate everybody's patience. Just telling Steve before we get on here, it's like in everything that's going on right now, the positivity I can take out of it from this show is that it dawned on me on Tuesday. It's like I was trying to get to the show on Tuesday, and when I realized I couldn't, I moved. Steve and I talked. We moved the show to today, and I'm like, wait a minute. The audio still goes out on Friday. We're doing the show. The chat's awesome anyways. We do spur of the moment chats and everybody shows up anyways. It's like I, as myself, like Steve was explaining to me, like you can't be so beholden to that schedule that it's a burden. It's good to have it. Don't get me wrong. We're going back to Tuesdays for sure. But when in doubt, when you need to, it's not a bad thing to bounce to another day, just as long as we do the show. So, but thanks, Jay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so that's what's going on from that part. But yeah, so we will be doing Thursday next week. After that, it should be back to normal. But yeah, so that's that. And last week, same thing. I mean, the week before we missed, same situation, like lots going on between work and this and everything. So if I had to, again, each incident, you learn a little bit more. Maybe I didn't have to cancel because I was trying to behold it to, once you miss Tuesday, you miss it. And then this week it's all compounding and I'm like, I can't miss another week. What can I do? And I was a little like, reschedule. And then you learn, it's like, if I'd known that the week before, what would I have done? So, but yeah, so that's where we're at right now. But yeah,
but it's given some people some opportunities, Deej, because we've got some new people in the chat.
Oh yeah,
straight away.
I thought of that too because I know a lot of people were commenting afterwards saying like, "Oh, I can't make that one. I'm busy on Thursdays." And I thought with that, I was like, "Oh, maybe some people that can't make Tuesdays."
Yeah, I mean, we'll say hi properly in a bit, but just to think. So, is it Zany LA or Zanila saying hi? How you there? How you doing? We've got Kawai. Saying hello. Talking about
Abraham Lincoln die for us. That's great.
We've got Emma Preppy 14 dropping in saying hello. Yeah, man. And Mary Lerma Villa saying hello. Hi there. Look, guys, it's an unusual night for us. So if you are tuning in live for the first time, please say hello. We always like to see where people are.
Absolutely.
And if you're a penguin in the Arctic, definitely let us know you're there.
Hit us up so we can add that to the but yes, so let me get this in. I told Steve, I haven't even told him what this one is yet, but actually I'll get to it on the other side. Let's get to the show. So we're into the show, the good side, the bright side. And we'll hit it with that. And let me try to do it without shutting the show down. Let me see, where is it? There we go. Here it is. Steve's got his fingers crossed and everything.
We are Brightside Theater.
Hey, home theater nerds, welcome to the Brightside Home Theater Podcast, the multi-award-winning, giving home theater podcast that's all about the experiences, the sights,
the sounds,
The scenes.
I still remember my line.
Yeah, man. But can I just say though, right at the top of the show, I still haven't had my award deeds for like third best host on the show, and I'm appalled. Quite honestly,
You're not appalled. You're a Steve.
True. I'm a appalled Steve.
You're a Steve. You're a Steve. I got a buddy named Paul.
Yeah, so
he's a Paul.
WTF? I mean, come on. I mean,
Yeah.
I was going to get the little donkey on Amazon, and then I thought, how sad is that? That'll be like someone else getting a made-up award and awarding it to themselves.
Yeah.
And that would be wrong. So, so I didn't do it, but I was close.
Yeah.
Yeah, goodness me. There we go.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So I have what you sent me something the other day. We'll get to that in a minute. But I did say I wanted to bright side everything that's going on. And one of the things that's going on is that, I got some situations that's going on that have been messed up for the last few years. And talking with my daughter, throwing my words back in my face earlier today. And it's like, you got these problems in your life and you're like, oh my God. And it's like, I was literally saying to him, I can't wait to get to the other side of this and look at things and without regret and be like, yeah, thank God I did that. And it's like, but I did say, I said, you know what? I have a lot of people telling me like, once I solve a problem, it's like, geez, what are you going to do? You're going to find something else, right? And be like, that's what I do. I can't sit still. I'm always looking to solve problems. And she's like, well, Dad, there you go. That's your perspective. You're the most successful person you know. Look at all the problems you got. Like, all you want to do is solve problems. You're the most successful person you know. You go. This is the best you've ever done. So we were crying, laughing. And I was like, she's right. Like, if I had nothing to do, I'd be worse. I'd be like, what am I going to do? And it's like, and now I can only imagine that if I do, when the day comes, when things settle down, she's going to be looking at me going, go ahead, make a mess again.
Yeah, but can you babysit? Because
yeah, exactly. And, so that's the new way of looking at it. I'm the most successful I've ever been. And when something else, if I screw something else up along the way, I'm just going to call Meg and go, I'm even more successful now.
Things are going great.
Things are going so much better.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's awesome. It's so great when your kids grow up and throw your stuff back at your face. And they're right. So, so funny.
Oh, man.
All right. Let's see. You want to get to the chat? You want to?
Because again, there's more people dropping in. Yeah, man, it's always good to say hi.
Yeah.
And again, this is the other cool thing, Deej, which you kind of touched on a little bit earlier. When we do change things, when we do mess with our schedule, not schedule, obviously, when we mess with our schedule and when we do just do things off the cuff, people still show up, and that is very cool.
Yeah.
Because you and I remember the first night we went live, and I think we got very excited when we had like 6 people.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool. And we were like, wow, this is amazing. So, people, that was on a regularly scheduled time. So it's, very cool when people turn up. So, so good to say hi to everyone who has made the journey with us. So Jay Van Gool was in first. Hey, Jay. Good to see you, buddy. Steve Atz in as well. Hey, Steve. We got Rach is in. Hey, Rach, who's had an interesting week herself. Her pet beagle has been through a bit of an operation this week, but is recovering well. So that's good news. Good. So we'll say hi to Jacob. That's the beagle. And I hope you feel well. Get well soon. Because I had heard he'd been feeling quite rough. Rough.
Boy. Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, moving on.
I am not going to encourage that.
File it. Yeah. Okay. So Scruffington as well, who was eating a Brontosaurus burger. Very nice. But didn't.
Flintstones reference.
Yeah, it is. Yes. As Fred and Wilma dropping by, Steve At says. So Scruffy's in. Hey, Scruffy. C Big's in. Hey, buddy. And we've already said hi to Zanaya.
Yeah.
Jordan's in. Hey, Jordan. Dom's in. Bonsoir, Dom. And again, we said hi to Kakawe and Emma Preppy. Hey, guys. Old School Kung Fu Films is in, saying he's tuned into Here We Talk About Kung Fu Panda 1 on 4K disc. Well, and 2 for that. You never know.
Yep.
For that. Paul Hertz in. Hey, Paul. Hope you finish well, buddy. We've got another one, AK Carrera. Oh, we've lost Deej briefly. Hopefully he'll be back in. Well, I can say hi as we go. So, hey, AK Carrera, I hope I'm saying that right. Good to see you. Oh, Deej just dropped out momentarily. He's broken it already. I mean, honestly.
Yep. Hey, so, yeah. So,
and then Herx MNI, is that Jan Herkstra dropping in from Montserrat? Hey, buddy, good to see you. Johnny Speakers is in. Hey, Johnny. And yeah, gang is all here. Yeah, man, it's good. So many new faces. Awesome.
New faces.
Another one.
There's another one. Hi, it's Tim.
Yeah, Tim. Yeah. That's easier than Thought
1683. Yeah.
Tim it is. Hey, Tim.
Yeah, it's Tim. Hey, Tim.
Yeah, hey, Tim. Hey, Tim.
It's
good to see you,
DJ. Yeah, I have initials that have more syllables than Tim.
But yeah, no, lots of people in. So yeah, very cool. Good to see. Good to see everyone in. Those that are new as well, if you want to just let us know where you are in the world, we are trying to work out where everybody is. So if you want to let us know, that's cool to know. So gang's all here. Everyone's ready, present, and
ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. Can I share some tech stuff, Deej, super quick?
Sure.
Do you mind? Because I want to give you your props.
Here we go.
I want to give you your
props. Oh yeah. We'll get to this. I had a comment on this as well.
Yeah. So couple of weeks back, 2-3 weeks ago, whenever it was, you happened to mention that for Christmas, Larissa got you your AirPod Pro 3s.
Correct.
And I had said to you at the time, that's cool, but I'm not getting rid of my AirPod Pro 2s because why would I want to do that? I got rid of my AirPod Pro 2s and I got some AirPod Pro 3s, Deej, as you well know. Because again, always looking to upgrade, always part in the back of your mind thinking, I just need an excuse. Well, an excuse presented itself and I leapt at that excuse. And so these are the AirPod Pro 3s. And can I just say, you were right, Deej, in every way, shape, and form. I
got to make a sounder out of that. DJ, you were right. There we go.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to say right. We'll just assume it. I mean, they are very, very good indeed. And the noise cancelling is bananas.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It really is.
I mean, if they came out with this noise canceling like 5 years ago, you'd be like, that's magic, right? We've had good noise canceling up until this. And now when you get this, you're like, wow. So to impress, it's really hard to do. And that's what I found telling people. I'm like, it is really good. And you're like, really? Even you're like, these are really good, and like the AirPod Maxes or whatever, those are amazing, but they're over the ear. So you can see how that can happen. And then other people have had, and I've read reviews elsewhere with other manufacturers and stuff. And it's like, it's excellent. It's this. So it is really hard to impress. So that's what I felt like when I was saying to people, like, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm like, it is really good. It is scary good. Yeah.
Well, this is it. I mean, I used them in the car, not as I was driving. I was in the back of this car with the X-Real glasses on, more about which in a minute. And I had these in and I was watching a show or a rugby match, something like that. Came to the end and I had the noise cancelling on and I took them out and I had sensory overload. I felt like, it's kind of like, like Man of Steel, with Clark's in the storage closet because he's sensing everything at once. That's what it felt like. I took them out and there's just noise.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And it's happened a couple of times. Happened as I was walking along the road the other day as well. So the noise cancelling is bananas. It's so good. I can't recommend them enough. So you were absolutely right, Deej. I'm very glad that I've picked them up because they are cool. Yeah, very cool. So yeah, well done on that.
Yeah. I'll give one piece that they're so good that like when I drive my tractor at the new house to like plow the driveway, right? If it's cold enough that I need something over my ears, like I'll put a hat on, and if you have them in and you put them over the hat over them, it kind of negates the noise cancellation because the microphones can't hear as well to drown out the tractor. You know what I mean? So it's like when you lift up and make it hard, make the sound come through, it's weird. It actually gets quieter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's like
crazy.
you need it to have full access so that they can hear every sound, because it will drop every sound, and it is really, really good. And it's, to your point, like I was shoveling the driveway, and you start the cars here and stuff, and I'm working, and I'm like, I had them in, but I had them on. I didn't have the noise cancellation on, and then I went and I turned it off, and then all of a sudden it's like there was, is the car running? Is anything running? It's like, or something would come on. You're like, oh my God. It's just, it's sensory overload when you go in the other direction. It's pretty
Take them out. Yeah, it's weird, man, but it's
So
so
cool.
good. So cool. So yeah, very cool. Great recommendation. Anyone that is looking at getting some, we are not sponsored by Apple. or
No,
indeed
not
anyone.
at all. No.
But if you're looking for some, they really are very, very good. And then the other thing was just to let people know, because a number of people, these, when you and I way back when mentioned our XR glasses, AR glasses, whatever you want to call them. And on the back of that, I know a number of people who have bought the glasses. So those that have bought the X-Real ones, just to let you know, tomorrow, the 23rd of January, there is a new update that is going live for the X-Real ones, the Pros, and the XRS, which is the new one. All three of those are going to get an update for Real 3D as of tomorrow.
Oh.
Free update.
Oh, wow.
But through the glasses themselves. You don't need anything else with it.
Nice.
The X1 chip will do Real 3D on anything. So that's going to be interesting, and I'm looking forward to at least trying that out. I'm not a big fan of 3D.
Yeah.
As we know, give me 4K any day of the week. However, on these, which are only 1080p, 3D could be quite good fun. So I'm looking forward to messing with that. But what I can't work out, though, Deej, and you might be able to help me with this, I've been thinking about this. Would it be active or passive 3D?
Exactly.
Because you've got glasses on, but it's only screens. You don't have to wear glasses for the glasses.
Yeah, but it is active, because what it's doing is it's alternate. Like you can't in real. I get what you're saying. And it's like, because you're wearing the glasses and you don't have to wear extra glasses to get these glasses to get the 3D. But passive in real life, to make a display 3D, you have to find a way. And like what all they're doing is they're using how we actually see to get depth perception. So they change what each eye sees.
Yeah.
How do you do that on a real screen? And it's like, to get that kind. But to me, and I've talked about this in the past, it's like the 3D, why it's hard for us is like, that isn't actually how we see. We don't actually see the real world with that much depth perception. It's over enhanced. Yeah. Like right now, my whole, like these screens that are in front of me, everything I have in front of me is 3D. It's 4D. It's the real world. But it doesn't look like, I'm not looking at it going, wow, I could reach out behind that screen right there. It's like, if that was a 3D image, I'd be like, oh my God, everything stands out more than it does in real life. And that's over time. That's what makes it a little wonky for us, because it's hyper 3D, really. But
well, it's going to be interesting to just have a kind of play around with it and see what it's like. But I won't watch much like that, but it's an interesting kind of, setup. It's all free. You haven't got to pay for it. It just comes as part of it. And again, you don't need any separate app or box or anything. The chip in the glasses.
Mine have had that. The Vertures, they've had that, but you have to be in their app, and they'll take anything like home movies and make it 3D, but you have to watch everything through their app, but you get the 3D, and it's really cool. But to your point, it's like, I'm not going to 3D everything. I'm like, you get better sound going through the actual apps like HBO Max or Disney and stuff. You get the full spatial audio going that way. But
the question then is, Deej, what do you watch first?
When?
Well, so once you get the update, so I'll get that tomorrow. So do you do, which was what I will do, is go straight to Avatar? Or would you go to
on the glasses? What would I choose?
Yeah. What are you going for first?
It could be an Avatar, or I'm trying to think of like, I would say.
So in other words, do you go for something that was shot with 3D in mind? You go for something that you love, it wasn't, and see if it enhances it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think I probably do exactly that. Like like an Avatar, and the other one that popped in my head was Marvel's Avengers, because that one they produced it, they put it out in 3D, but it wasn't shot in 3D,
Yeah.
so the experience isn't very good. But does this make it better?
Yeah.
Right? Where they wanted it to be, but they didn't shoot it that way, so it didn't work. And then you go to something like an F1 where you're like, it was never 3D, and you're like, how is that? Now, is that wonky? Does it feel weird? Is it, and then you just start going through stuff like that. Like
Maverick as well, I would have
Maverick,
thought.
yeah, Top Gun, the old, some older ones that didn't have
Top Gun,
3D.
they did remaster in 3D. They did. We actually had the 3D Blu-ray of Top Gun. They did do that in the first one. Yeah,
Oh,
they
I
did.
didn't know that.
Yeah, years ago. Yeah, I mean, it
I
wasn't
never
very good,
experienced
but
that
they
one.
did. Yeah, they did do it. But Maverick would be very interesting. But yeah, Jordan said, well, Paul says Gravity, if I owned it.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, I've got the disc. I mean, of course,
I have that in 3D. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got the 3D and the Dolby Atmos, obviously, Diamond Lux version or whatever it was.
Yep.
Jordan says straight to Tintin. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Jordan doesn't love that movie. I know he does. And then or Doctor Strange. Yeah, that's quite cool. So the Dormammu bits on that are very good.
Yeah.
But if it's me, I'm going for Multiverse of Madness because Patrick Stewart. Oh, sorry, did I just give that away, Deej?
Yeah.
Never mind. Again.
Yeah. That's so funny.
So yeah, but I think it's going to be Avatar. I think Avatar, and then The Way of Water as well, just to see if it's picking up on any.
Well, yeah, because those were the staples for 3D, right?
And Disney, of course, offer a number of movies to Apple Vision Pro owners in 3D. Okay. So I'm hoping that what they're putting out is a version that can be picked up quite easily. Anyway, apparently Infinity War and Endgame as well are in 3D for an Apple Vision Pro. See, Paul F isn't in. He's bowling tonight. So he's not in, and he's of course our Apple Vision Pro guy.
Yeah.
But so it'd be interesting to see whether those then have got more dimensionality. I mean, I'll see. It's probably going to be one of those, like I've said, 20 minutes 3D. Yep. Okay. Seen that now. Turn that off and never go near it again.
Exactly. It gets a little gimmicky, and even in the glasses, you're like, okay, a little bit away. All right. Unless it really blows you away, and then it's like, okay, well, that's kind of cool. But
tune in next week, and I'll let you know.
There we go. Yeah. But you did say, because we were talking AirPod Pro 3s, and we don't have sponsors, but we do have sponsors, the listeners, and that sparked my memory, and we picked up a new Patreon sponsor in the last couple of weeks. I forget if it was last week. I think it was before last week's show. Bryce Nicole, current $5 small popcorn. So monthly small popcorn, $5. The latest.
Bryce Nicole or Nicole Bryce?
I don't know. It says Bryce Nicole. So that's that's the way it's listed, and that's what it is. So to go along with all of the other Patreon supporters we have, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. And we haven't been promoting Patreon a lot. We don't beg for money, because John's missing. It's like he was my motivator in that. So it is nice that without even asking, every now and then you get a new one. And thank you very much, Bryce. I appreciate that. And to all the Patreon supporters, or Nicole, Bryce and Nicole. Maybe it's Bryce and Nicole.
We were a wedding present.
Yeah. Wow, that's sad.
Hey, man.
Maybe they were registered for a home theater, Brightside Home Theater subscription.
Yes, that was
you
on
didn't
there.
have to pay. So, but all right, there we go. So, thank you very much, Bryce, and everybody else that's supporting us. Thank you, and anybody that hasn't already, appreciate. That's okay. Tell your friends if you can't support us and just haven't yet. We'd appreciate that. That'd be great. Said it before, say it again. It's like if everybody out there listening to us supported us, neither Steve or I or John now would have to work. We'd get John back full time.
Hey man,
yeah, exactly, definitely. So that would be great. But I understand. It's like but yeah. So, but yeah, support us in talking about us, because I'm out of friends. Actually, I'm losing them left and right the way I'm acting lately. So, but I sit down here every week.
Well,
but no.
it's funny you mentioned that, Deej. Since we last,
But I'm losing friends.
well, no, I had a weird experience, right? So since we last convened, I went out for one of my best friend's birthday kind of pub crawl, drink-a-thon that we went out for, and there are a group of friends.
Steve, we weren't going to tell everybody why we had a cancel on Tuesday.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, it's stomach pumped.
I was trying to take the hit for you, buddy.
I went to the meeting. It all worked well. So, so there's a group of friends who we kind of only really all get together with when it's his birthday. So it's like, once a year, whatever. Yeah. And so these guys I hadn't seen for a while.
Not like you that has a birthday twice a year.
Hey, man, absolutely. So it should be. So these guys were there, and I arrived, and we were chatting and drinking and everything else. And one of them said, I've seen the show, and it felt really weird and really uncomfortable, and it felt a bit intrusive because it felt like, but that's me on the show, and then me now, it's different.
Drunk,
it felt really odd. Yeah, well, quite. Yeah, absolutely. I can barely speak now, but it was just really weird. Yeah. It was a very strange feeling to have someone that outside that isn't family or or close friends that had been watching the show, and it just it felt weird. I was not prepared for that.
I told you about a buddy of mine that I skated with, which I'm going to see on Friday night. We have a big event Friday night for this group of guys that skated. We skated together for like almost 20 years every week. It was just a pickup skate, and the guy running it is having some health issues. So we're all getting together with him and just to get together. But this guy, Steve, that organized, I ran into him at the local hardware store. We're chatting and catching up. And he goes, oh, by the way, he's like, I watched the show. He's like, I'm interested in getting and he said a kaleidoscope. And I was like, I thought you listened. Yeah. He's like, I'm interested. And he goes, but I got a theater in my basement. I got a projector, the one you like, and the idea. And he's like, I got a JVC and I got this. And he's like, tell me about Illumigen. Tell me about that. And I'm like, Steve, you got my number, but he's like, yeah, but I like listening to the show. But like, to your point, it's like, I hadn't seen this guy in like I think I told you guys about the show on the show, but it's weird. You're like, why aren't you calling me? It's like, I like the show. Okay.
Yeah, man.
All right. So hi, Steve. When you listen to this, you'll probably hear it after Friday night. He'll probably have some stories from me.
Talking about home theater in the basement, you saw that tweet from that person earlier. It might have been last week now about the boomer thing, the remnant of the boomers, the idea that most people think,
I forwarded it.
Theaters are a wasted room.
Yeah. Oh my God. If anybody hadn't seen it on Twitter, if you're not on X or whatever, I just came across this person randomly. It's not somebody I follow or anything, but it was like somebody was like, they were just like, one of the biggest headaches to them is these, and they hate, and they weren't even a realtor, right? It was just, they just think it's a waste of time. They had one in their
interior
house.
Designer, I think it was.
Yeah, and they were saying like, and I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. The guys on AV, Tom and Rob talk about it all the time. When you're designing your theater, you want to make it compatible for sale so that you could pull it. And I know this firsthand after selling my house. But what I thought was funny is like, that's all well and good, but that's your opinion, but they hated home theater. They said it's the biggest boomer waste of money and time and everything.
I've got it here. I won't read the name of the person because we're not about naming and shaming. But it says here, so movie theater rooms are one of the worst aging boomer era amenities in Texas homes. Most young families would rather have a second office, extra bedroom, a versatile space with windows that can be used as a playroom or home gym. And that was from a Jay Saccone. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like what the, yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly. But it was like, all right, that's your opinion. But it's like people do crazy things. Like they put a pool table in their room, or they do this, or they do that, or they design. Now I get it. They even mentioned the like high rise and stuff like that, like going on. Like I get it. but there is a passion here. It's like you can't diss. Like, I don't understand why people like this. Okay, that's the best way to put it. I don't understand. Doesn't mean it's bad. You know, like I don't understand stamp collecting, but I get passion. You know, I understand that. And that's what I thought was weird about it. It's like you're dissing something in an entire group of people. And that's why I wanted to put it out. I'm like, let me retweet this because I got some people that can comment.
Yeah, was it strange? You know, and again, not, I mean, I appreciate we're in, you know, a community that are into this stuff, but, you know, the idea that someone would go, oh, you know, I don't want a theatre. That's the last thing I want. Does seem odd. I get people saying, oh, that's too much work, too much hassle. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But it's odd that, you know, to sort of say, well, I wouldn't want one seems odd. I've never had anyone come into my theatre room and go, oh, I'd hate what, this is awful. Well, I've had people come in and go, I love it, but I wouldn't know where to start.
Right.
You know, that's kind of what I've had. I've never had anyone say, oh,
yeah,
just what a waste of time. This would be a lovely office.
Well, and the other perspective I thought was funny is like people, like they're assuming, and I the way I read it, it's like they're assuming they're doing this at sacrifice of other things. Like they've got 4 kids in one room on you know, each sharing 2 kids each sharing a bunk bed level, and they took and sacrificed the whole room at the expense of the family. And it's like, no, these rooms, they're not wastes to people. They're actually like, okay, when that's available, this is what I want to do with it. You know what I mean? It's not like people aren't just like, all right, screw the kids, screw the family. Everybody's doing this. You know, it's like and that's what we talk about all the time here. And it's like, and anybody in that to me, that would be common sense. You know, it's like, well, why'd you leave your husband? Well, me and the kids were all in this room and he had the whole house as home theater and he ignored everybody. Well, that's not the theater's problem. That's the person's problem. And I don't think that's ever happened.
And if I may say, she did say, you know, most people would rather have an office or a gym. Have them all. I've got a theater room, I've got a gym, and I'm in my office.
Yeah. Or if you chose gym over theater, that's your choice too. Right. It's like, okay, what a waste of time and all that equipment and money and blah, blah, blah. You could put an office in. It's like, it's your choice. That's I don't get it. So,
but there we go. It was a weird one and it was out of nowhere as well. And
exactly.
Very strange, but never mind. Never mind. We're preaching to the choir here, Deej.
Yeah. One other thing, getting to hashtag dork. Thanked us for our award that will be shipped out as soon as I get a moment. But I already last week, I was really excited to talk about this. Hashtag dork did their awards, and guess, lo and behold, what, and I couldn't wait to talk about this with you last week. And this is home theater. This is home theater experience. We're getting into it for real here, everybody. But hashtag dork did they have the Brightside Home Theater Award, and goes to the movie that needs to be seen in the best possible theater. That's the Brightside Home Theater Award over there, right? Well, guess which one they chose? F1.
Oh, good man.
Exactly.
I wasn't sure if they liked it or not.
Well, here's the best part. If you go to their episode and listen to that part, I should have timestamped it. It was awesome hearing how they came to that realization. And it was like, because the last thing you want to do is like, oh yeah, just listen to them and just duplicate, blah, 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 whatever. They don't do that. But listening to them back and forth, I was like, oh my God, we're having an effect, because they're into home theater, not like we are. Right. But they're on the periphery. And like you've seen, Ryan's been on the show and he's like, he wish he could do more, but he doesn't do that stuff right now. He doesn't have the capability. Rich Keefe, he has the Dragon's Lair. He wishes his theater was like us, all of us. It's in the early stages of evolution. He loves his theater, but it was like it's got the greatest name, Dragon's Lair. But yeah, so they're not like as in the weeds as we are, right? But they do listen. And what amazed me was them talking. It came down to 2 movies. It came to Jurassic World Rebirth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we didn't even have that on the list, but it's definitely a home theater experience. And F1. And listening to them back and forth, it was, look, and I think Ryan was the one that came up with it. He's like, look, Jurassic World Rebirth or whatever is like, He goes, that's dino action, whatever. It's the same old, same old. Of course, it's going to have home theater stuff and everything like that. He's like, F1 is just a really good movie that you can watch that on your living room and you're going to be like, it's a good movie, but it needs this as an enhancement. It makes the movie better. It makes a good movie even better when you experience. And I'm sitting there listening to him like, that's us. It's like he's saying the enhancement part, and that's how because they have their nominations. Actually, I think they had 5 nominations, but the final, when they were getting down to the nitty gritty and discussing it, they literally decide right there on as they're doing it. And like, I think it's going to go to F1. Right. And it's like, and that's what they did. They whittled it down and it sounded great. And I was like, oh, wow, that was awesome. I loved how they did it. And that really gives like takes the name, the Bright Side Home. They're doing exactly how we would do it, which I really appreciate how they did that. Instead of just going, oh yeah, it's great. Sounds loud. Big booms. Bright Side Home Theater Award. They put a lot of thought into it and it was good. So
yeah, no, good on them. So did we not win the podcast award then, Deej?
No. I think if I remember right, they won again this year. So yeah, they're back in the running. So they're starting a new streak, I think. But they are a great podcast, so they do deserve the win.
Well, we'll let them get away with it just this once.
Yeah, just this once. So.
I hope we were shortlisted at least.
Yeah, we were on the list. We made the list. We were nominated. We were nominated.
That's all that really matters.
Yeah, it's
respect of our peers.
Just happy to be nominated. So, so yeah, there we go. You guys deserve the award. Jay, you guys deserve the award and one named after you. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's get to something we've watched this week. What do you want to hit? What do you want to start off with?
Man, it's impossible to choose.
I know.
It was an embarrassment of riches, Deej.
Oh yeah, I got to bring up the share screen here for you to see. There we go.
Yeah. Shall we do the new theatrical one? Just get that out of the way because again, there's a tech element to that. Shall we do that bottom left? And it'll give you a giggle if nothing else. You've been laughing about this for like a year.
Oh, you have too. You're the one that brought it up when they're like, wait till you hear the title. Well, here we go. All right. Here we go. Coming to a stage near you because it says I had to stage. Here we go. Oh, God. All right, here we go.
Okay. This, ladies and gents, boys and girls, is 28 years later and no tittering at the back, The Bone Temple. Which finally hit theaters here last week. Yeah, it was last week. And is the sequel to last year's 28 Years Later. And hopefully the middle part of a trilogy and the third one, which would be presumably next year. But it's been greenlit, the third one, but unfortunately this one is not performing terribly well. So whether it will come off or not, I don't know. I hope it does. 28 years later, I reviewed it on the show, talked about it briefly. I think it was in my top 25. I think it was my top 20. So we talked about it briefly. So this is the sequel to it. The first one, as in the 28 years later, was directed by Danny Boyle. This one is then directed by a lady called Nia DaCosta, who was the director of the remake of Candyman, which was a very, really stylish horror remake of recently. Was that 2021? I think it was. Might have been 22. So these were filmed back to back. They literally, Danny Boyle finished on one day and then Nia DaCosta started this one on the next. But the actual movie is very, very different. So it's, we've talked at length on this show about the different horror genres within the horror scope. And in this one, this is very different. This is psychological horror all day long. Whereas the first one was more of a traditional zombie horror movie. This one is definitely a psychological horror, a very different setup, and clearly meant to be the middle movie. So it's very different. It's violent, it's graphic, it's crazy mad at times as well. But it's very, very interesting. And I highly recommend this. If you like the first one, you absolutely should go and see this, but be prepared to know it's a very different experience to the last one in every way.
So like
and
the first one,
yeah,
it was just 28. Did I miss that part? It like 20. The first one's just called
so
28 years later.
yeah, so obviously this is it's really where it gets confusing. So the first movie in this franchise was 28 Days Later.
Correct. I got that.
Then you
part.
get 28 Weeks Later, which was the
Weeks.
second one
This
from
is
2007.
years, and this is the second 28 years.
Yeah, exactly. There you
movie.
go. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So of the 28 years trilogy, this is the second one. There you go. That perhaps makes it clear, hopefully.
Oh, see, that's what I mean. So like out of the franchise, we're going with a 28 years trilogy at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is four of the franchise. Second of the trilogy.
Right.
So yeah, I get that it's confusing. You don't need to have seen 28 Days or 28 Weeks Later necessarily.
Which I saw both. I have.
Yeah.
Well, it was a while ago, almost 28 years ago. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So almost 28 years later.
There you go.
So, if you watch obviously the last one to this, that sets it up nicely, and then we go into it. Now, I do wonder how it will play with an American audience, because there are certain things with some of the characters in this, and the characters are dressed to look like a British TV personality who has subsequently passed away, and who subsequently we know lots of very unpleasant things about. So after he died, lots of very, very unpleasant things came out about this person. And they are, and so the bad guys in this are dressed and named after this person. And so I wonder how it will play internationally and with American audiences, because that will fall flat. That won't mean anything to an American audience. And, so I'm a little uncertain as to how that would play. But certainly to me, anyway, it was riveting. I mean, it really is an interesting movie. And what made it better, Deej, was it was enhanced by its audio and its video, because I saw this film in a new format for me.
Yeah.
Which is not only in 4K. 4K projectors commercially in this country have been around for a while, but this was a 4K HDR Barco projector, which is new to this theater, and it's on a very big screen. It's called the Epic screen, is what they call it. And so this was my first experience of a commercial 4K HDR presentation. And it was really good. Still not as good as what I'm used to at home, is what I would say, but it's getting closer. But based on seeing the last film at home and then seeing this one then looks more like the one at home. But I would rather have that than this. But it's still very, very nice. It was in Atmos, but then, again, we've become used to that. But yeah, so that was an interesting experience, and I was really looking forward to that, and it was nice to see it that way. So yeah, well worth seeing. I do recommend it. I can't wait to get it at home. Again, as we say, this was a really good trailer for what it'll be like at home. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing it again in Cinema George. Bring it on. So yeah, very, very cool. And I see that Jordan saying, well done, Jordan, for the asterisks.
Yeah, the asterisk is like
the F King loved this film.
Yeah, F King.
With F King, which is good. Donham says, yeah, saw it yesterday, thought it was awesome. Yeah, very unusual. Yeah, Paul says it's had awesome reviews. It has, but disappointed to hear it's struggling. And Paul says he thought it was horror that was keeping cinemas going. Well, they can't all be Evil Dead Rise, or Sinners, I suppose. Weapons kept going for ages. But yes, very, very good and well worth seeing. But don't see this, of course, without having seen 28 years later. Otherwise, it will not make a lick of sense.
Right.
But if you do see that one, this one really needs to be seen as well. So perhaps, Deej, when this one hits Kaleidoscape, you could do
back to back.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what you think of it and see how it plays. It really would be curious to see kind of whether it resonates with you the same as it would an English audience without the cultural touchstone of how they're dressed and why they're doing what they're doing. Yeah. So yeah, but very, very good. I had a really good time with it.
Cool. Yeah. Regarding the projector and stuff, like I've said, we have that Barco, the HDR projector here at our showcase. And you're right. It's like, I mean, it looks fantastic, but it's not like what you get at home. And I'm wondering if that could be like where they're coming out in the future with like better HDR, better projectors and stuff because when you go that large, it's really hard to duplicate the detail and that we can perceive here, right?
Yeah.
And it's like
Mhm.
so, and the bigger it is, the bigger flaws are, even though you're sitting further away. It's harder when you're looking at a giant screen like that to even take it all in to appreciate it. It could even be better than it is at home, but it's just too hard to appreciate it because it's too
Yeah.
big at that point,
Mhm.
you know. So
Yeah.
maybe they get better HDR, but that's where it goes, so that it kind of mirrors how good it can be at home at the theater. It's like,
Yeah.
that makes sense, you know.
Yeah, there's definitely
hard.
a texture to how a movie like this looks at home
Mm-hmm.
compared to then how it looks. Yeah, in again, bear in mind only one, but still, how it looked in
Yeah.
the theater. And I could definitely see that the texture of this in the theater looked moving more towards how it looks at home.
Yeah.
But again, I would take the home image all day long, all day long.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, it was a massive theater, and there were only about 10 people in there. I saw it mid-afternoon on Tuesday. Actually, I saw it on Tuesday so I could have it for the show.
Yeah.
So it was kind of middle of the afternoon. No,
Yeah.
literally. And there were like 10 people in this like 500, seat theater.
Yeah.
But I would still give me it at home any day of the week.
Oh yeah. Yep. So all right. Let's see. Let's go back to here. There we go.
Mhm. Do you want to do this week's Netflix biggie that we've both seen?
Yeah, we've both seen this one. I can't wait to get your take on it. Being these are two, all right, let's bring it up. Let's get it up here before we start talking, so we're not teasing everybody like crazy again. All right, there we go. All right, we are talking Netflix original. And there's a lot to go with that. This could be quite the conversation. Netflix original, The Rip, done by, made by the Boston Boys, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. So this one dropped 4K, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. What is it, about 2 hours, something like that? But
1 hour and 52
1 hour
minutes.
52 minutes. Deej, read the screen, read the script. Deej, read the script. So much better in rehearsal. Yeah. So The Rip, I really enjoyed it. It is not the greatest writing and greatest movie in the world. I'll tell you right up front, I pegged this from like 5 minutes in. I knew exactly what was going on, but I still loved it. And that to me was part of it. It's like, if you're a movie fan, like we all are, we're all content fans, right? We've been watching stuff, trying to figure things out, and what's going to happen next? And you're always trying to look for little things. This movie is like right up front, in your face. If you're paying attention, you're going to know exactly what's going on. But it's still a blast. It's still like it's like getting on a roller coaster and go, yeah. You're gonna go up, you're gonna go down, you're gonna do it. You get off and you're like, that was awesome. That's what this was, right? I know what was coming. I saw the turns and the twists and everything a mile away, and I had an absolute blast with it. Let me get your perspective on that, and we'll get into the home theater part and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. I didn't love it because I don't know, somehow it left me a bit cold at times, just because it was very predictable. I think you could tell what it wanted to be. It wanted to be a mashup of Heat and Sicario, and it wanted to do all these kind of movies. Even Sabotage, the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from a few years back. It wanted to be all of these things, and I think in trying to be everything to all of those things, it kind of lost its way a little bit. And I think it's relying on Damon and Affleck to keep
100%.
Unfortunately, they are great together. I mean, these two are awesome.
Oh my God.
And so they definitely keep it trundling along when I think a lot of movies would have gone off the rails big time. But they do keep it there, because when the two of them are just in a room, just talking, that interest is still there. And so, yeah, I did enjoy it. I'm glad I've seen it. I don't think I'd see it again.
I've already been like, I want to watch it again, because I want to watch it again. Yeah, even though I felt like as I was going through it, it felt like a second viewing to me. You know what I mean by like the storyline. But
Yeah.
even more so, I want to go back and see if there was anything else I missed that, like, because I was so confident in knowing, maybe I missed something. Oh yeah, I didn't even see that part. That's a giveaway too, you know. Do you know the backstory to the movie making process for this one?
In terms of their production company.
Yep.
Yeah, that I do. Yeah. That was on Smartless. When they were on Smartless, they talked
Okay,
about it.
so they're making their rounds. I heard them on Rogan, which they did 2.5 hours on Rogan. Same thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you given the backstory of what they're doing, what their production company is doing. And I find it to be like almost apropos that it's the rip, right? It's about the money. And it's like, and that's I felt like everything you said about the movie is true. Right. It's trying to be something like, but I don't think it's trying to be. I think this was them making a movie that was entertaining. It was a fun home theater experience, and we'll get to that. But at the same time, this is kind of like their blueprint of how to make streaming content and how it can be viable in the future to everybody. And if anybody listening that doesn't know what we're talking about, is like, this is the first, I think it is the first movie, but this is the first movie that the crew, anybody involved in this movie, gets a percentage of its success. And the way I've heard it explained by them is that they didn't take it, and people didn't take a hit either, right? So like if you're like a gaffer or whatever, you're getting paid the way you should be paid to make these things. But on the back end, you're also getting a percentage of the profits of it doing well. So if it does better, you get, that's the idea. So everybody in the making of this movie, to like, I think I even heard him say, like, even like the catering and the people that, you know, all of that. It's if you were involved in this movie, you have a stake in it.
I think it is the second one, Deej, because I think Air was the first one.
Oh, Air was the other one?
I think so, yeah.
But this one here, I felt like this was the first because of the way they're really pushing that. I don't know if, I think this is like maybe that Air was their first production company, the first one they did with this, and the second one, this is the one where they did this part where the back end pay. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe they did the same on Air. I don't know. But I think that's huge. I think, and they're hoping like this other people follow suit and it changes because the landscape, and they go into that. I don't know. I didn't hear the Smartless version. I'll listen to that one tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it now.
But, it's back a bit. It's going back when Air came out, so it's 2-3 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one here, they talk with Rogan about the rip, and it's like, and they get into a whole bunch of other stuff that has nothing to do with movies too, which was really cool. But it's, you know, just hearing all that stuff, and they're saying like they hope that other movie makers are doing, you know, will follow suit. And like, there's no excuse anymore. That's one of the things that I think Affleck says. Like, he's like, look, people have been saying this for years, and he's great. He is so, I love listening to him. He's so smart, but he's so like, I almost said smug, but he's not. He's smart. He knows his stuff, and he'll go, you know, and he's swearing and stuff. And he's like, look, people have been saying this for, typical Boston guy, right? People have been saying this for years. Cut the BS. Now we did it. Go do it. Stop telling people you can get paid on the back end. Here we go. We did it. Go do it. Right? No excuses. I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. It's so funny. But
well, Affleck's been through the mill though, hasn't he? He's been through the grinder, come out the other side. In fact, he's been through the mill a couple of times at least. So he's got, I think he's at the state of his career now where he's like, look, yeah, I don't need to play this game anymore. I could just tell you the way it is.
Yeah. He had a great take on AI writing, and I hit up Carl Ellsworth already. I'm like, we gotta get on. We gotta chat about this stuff, buddy. And we're working out the schedule, him and I right now. But Affleck had a great take on AI and writing movies, and it's so much so that I've seen it on Twitter. People are talking about he doesn't know what he's talking about, and these are all people that are like into AI and the programming. But what he said was, he goes, look, AI is a tool, and it's good at what it does. But what does AI do is it takes like all the information and gives you the average of what it is. Okay. So all it can write is average. It can't write a great script because there's not a lot of great scripts. So like basically what he was saying is like, if you're a professional writer and you're looking at this and be like, no, this is garbage, you'll take it and you can now fine tune it and write it and make something great out of it. But don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people out there looking at it going, this is great. Yeah, because you're a crappy writer or you're not a writer at all. You're looking at something average thinking it's great. Like, I don't know how to write. All of our stuff in for our show is all like that's AI now. It's like all of our show description is done by AI, and I'm like, this is great. I can't do that. A writer will look at it and go, that's crap. But I don't know how to write. So average to me is awesome. It's way over my head, right? And that's basically what he was saying. He goes, if you're an artist worried about AI ruining your job, it means you're not a good artist. He's like, great artists don't care. I was like, oh my God. So
no, it's good. Can I just say with this before we get on to the home theater side of it, though, Deej?
Sure.
There is a dog in this, and it's a dog that is owned by a police officer.
Oh yeah.
Therefore, it's a legal beagle, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
As I was watching, I'm like, ooh.
Oh God, that was the hardest part of the movie. What's gonna happen? Oh no.
Yeah, no, they're not gonna do that.
And at one point, they put a vest on the dog. They're like, get the.
Yeah, exactly.
You remember they're like, all right, go get the vest for the dog. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, they're not. This is not that kind of thriller, is it?
No.
But yeah. So in terms of the home theater, then, what did you make of that, Deej?
I thought it was great for a Netflix. Again, we always talk about Netflix. I wouldn't put it up there. It's not up there with a home theater experience of the year, even this early on. I can't say that, but it is great. It's funny, especially right after coming out of the awards from last week that we gave, or 2 weeks ago when we gave them. I'm like looking, well, they didn't do a lot of stuff here. They didn't do like what we gave. So I'm like, I'm looking at things at that kind of light, which I want to keep doing. But I thought the black levels were amazing. There was a lot of detail in the darks, and there's a lot of dark scenes.
Yeah.
So I thought the HDR was amazing for streaming. I thought the way they utilized the light and the darks and everything, I thought were textbook Netflix, right? You're going to be very happy that you've calibrated your system, and this is going to take advantage of all of that. Audio wise, so good. The gunfire, the gunshots, really kind of left you wanting more of them. Because it was so good, like the gunfire. I thought the bass
when
punches,
it did go, it really went, didn't it?
Oh my God, really good. So, what did you think?
I did. Well, again, I agree with in terms of the video, 100%. I mean, it's a movie designed for people with a calibrated TV, or a display of any kind that's been properly set up. Because I think if you're watching this in a brightly lit room on a small TV, or even a big one that's not calibrated, you're going to miss all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, there are plot points in this that take place in the dark, and if you are not watching it properly, you've missed that. So at the end, when all is revealed, you're like, when did that happen?
Yeah.
You haven't got it set up, you're not going to know. But I did like the audio. I think this is definitely shot with Atmos in mind. The whole discussion sequence with the owner of the house, the female officer with the beagle, and then what's going on upstairs in the attic while they're knocking is all in the overhead speakers. All of that's going on above you. And
that one conversation with the dust, coming down. It's such, and they're just sitting there, which was great because they're just talking like matter of factly, and they're like, and it's not a spoiler, but that you've got other officers upstairs knocking around and stuff, and there's like drywall dust going. Coming down in front of like Affleck and Damon and the character they're talking to, and they're like, but they're just sitting there like, so tell us this, and you can hear it all upstairs, but there's and they're not even flinching.
But it's all, and all of that's above you. All of that feels like you're in that room. Whereas if you're watching this on a 2-channel TV or a 2-channel, stereo TV or soundbar, that's all just going to mean nothing to you.
You're going to know people are upstairs, but you're not going to get to experience what it's like to have people over your head.
It was so clever. And again, for streaming, it's just, I did like that. That's what kept me more interested in this than I think the story at times. Because I think the story, yes, I had figured out very quickly what was really happening. It was all a bit rote and a bit predictable and a bit, again, we've seen this before. So that experience definitely kept me engaged. So yeah, it was good. But as I said, I don't think I'd see it again. I think it is kind of one and done for me. But I'm glad I've seen it. And again, if I had to see it for the first time, seeing it in my cinema room is where I'd want to see it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
Absolutely.
it was okay. It was okay. Worth a subscription fee for this month.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny, like on the home theater side, listening to Affleck and Damon on Rogan, Affleck even says, like, well, they get into the part like how Netflix, when you're making a movie for them, they tell you get notes on stuff, and they're like, in the writing, they want certain things so that because they understand most people are watching their content on their phones or their laptops, or they're watching it on their laptop while scrolling on their phone. So that all goes into the writing. And so if they already know all that, like Netflix knows that, most people aren't experiencing this in a theater, and they talk about that a little bit, to the point that Affleck even says, he goes, look, I have a really nice setup. I get to experience it like a theater, but most people don't do that. And I'm like, oh my God, we got to get him.
Yes.
I'm like, we got to get him on the show. But to me, that gets back to, like I said, about Ron Howard and Apollo 13. It's like they're making these movies and they're doing an amazing job with the HDR, with the Atmos and all that. But yet they know only about, at best, 10% of their viewership is taking advantage of all that. But they still do it, right? And that to me is like, that's what amazes me. When everything in the world it's about the money, it's this, that, and they're out to make money. And it's like, what would be, if you cut the budget and said, we don't need to do Atmos, we don't need to do this, just make the movie, you're only going to lose about 10% of your business. What are you doing? That to me right there, that's the passion project. That's the money being spent for no other reason than the want, because it's really not paying off, in my opinion. And I hate to say that, because I'd hate for them to listen and go, hey, you're right, we should cut that out. You know what I mean? But it's like, but think about it. It's like, if you're the penny pincher, you'll be like, what are we spending all the money on that for? When we could just put out a mono track, because most people are watching on their phones. Who gives a crap? Or a stereo track that your earbuds are going to sound like stereo. Who cares? And they're going to upmix it anyways. Knock yourself out. Think about it. It's like, that's what's crazy to me. Yeah,
that creative intent, that creative drive to give it the big screen treatment when most people are watching it on a small screen. We are very fortunate that they do that, and long may it continue. So I get that. But it was good, as I said, but what it done for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll try to convince you when I watch it later. All right. What do we want to hit next?
Do you want to do a quick twofer? Because Old School Kung Fu Films was very keen that I talk about this. So should we just quickly do those?
Okay.
The twofer? Yeah, because the first one of this is well worth talking about.
Okie dokie. Here we go. And away we go.
Okay, so as requested by Old School Kung Fu Films, and we like to give our listeners and viewers what they want, this is Kung Fu Panda on 4K UHD disc and in Dolby Atmos, which, as those that were tuning in a few weeks ago will know, I bought twice. Once back in September and then again over Christmas. But managed to swap the other one, so that's good. So when I watched it for the first time, literally a week and a bit ago, because I really did want to check it out and see what it was like. And the movie, I mean, I'm sure everyone that's got any interest in this has seen this by now. It is an enjoyable first movie. The first one is particularly good, and it's just as fun and just as silly, but all as enjoyable as it's always been. And I had a great time with the film. I am very pleased to report, though, and this is really what I particularly wanted to talk about, is how good this presentation is. This is, in my respectful opinion, the way to do older animation on a 4K disc and with Dolby Atmos. This disc is a thing of beauty. Um, it the HDR makes this glow in the very best way. So you get all the increase in detail. I mean, appreciate, of course, with animation, it's not as though there's much hidden, but it is sharper. Um, but it's the HDR that makes this fantastic. All of the backdrops, the backgrounds, everything else is absolutely exquisite. It is beautifully done. And I spent this movie I wasn't expecting a great deal because, again, it's an older film, but I was blown away by it. And from front to back, as Jay Bagul says in the chat, Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2 is demo. I mean, I certainly agree with the first one. We'll come on to the second one in a minute. But this is demo worthy for sure. And the audio's awesome as well. Again, bear in mind, it was not an Atmos track when it came out. So this one does. And the elements of this are fantastic. There are fireworks going on above you and they're in the overheads. You've got all of the various kind of kicks and punches and all the swooshing and everything else moves around the room beautifully. And when the camera swooshes and the audio perspective changes, so the audio does in the speakers as well. It's phenomenally good. If you even vaguely like this movie, then this is absolutely how to see it. It's never looked even close to being as good or sounding as good as this does. This is, I agree with Jay. It's reference, certainly video and pretty much audio as well. It is fantastic. So yeah, highly recommend this. Don't do what I did and wait in September when I first bought it. And so then moving swiftly onwards, then we get Kung Fu Panda 2. So the movie, yeah, it's not quite as good as the first one. It's okay. Although we do get Gary Oldman as an evil peacock, which is a bit unusual. I think we call that an acting challenge. So it's a very unusual one. So the movie, I think the sequel is not quite as good as the first one. The first one was lightning in a bottle. This one is really good, but not as good for me personally. And similarly, and unusually, because this one is more recent than the first one, I think on the whole, and I use that phrase deliberately as a whole piece, it's not quite as jaw-dropping as the first one in terms of its video and its audio. It's very, very good, but it's not as just blew me away as the first one. Apart from one particular sequence, which is towards the end, and there's a big fight on a river or a canal with a boat and all this stuff. And there are a couple of shots in that where Po, that's the panda, is leaping towards the screen, and as he's doing that, behind him there are fireworks going off, and then it's either dusk or dawn, I'm not sure which one of the two behind that, and that looks, the HDR on that makes it look three-dimensional. I mean, it looked just those couple of shots looked superb. So just not quite as good as the first one, but very, very good indeed, and again, much better than it's ever looked or sounded before. So if you've got the Blu-rays, and I had, and you're upgrading or thinking of upgrading, do yourselves a favor, do it. Because these discs you will not be disappointed with. And they are cheaper now. I think that you can get the 1 and 2, if you're in the UK, you can get them both and another disc, 3 of them for £50. So that's a decent discount when they were $24.99 when they came out. So you essentially get one disc free if you get these two. And as Jordan will say almost certain, I think you may have said earlier, Kung Fu Panda 3 and 4 are coming out here in March, I think it is, or in April on 4K disc. So I'll be picking those up as well. I haven't seen them before. So I look forward to those. But one in particular, incredible. 2, really, really good. Pick them up. You won't be sorry that you did.
Nice.
Are you into these? Did you like these? Have you seen these?
Yeah. This Kung Fu Panda. Speaking of Meg, talking with her earlier. So one of the things I used to do when she was a kid is, I think it wasn't the first movie. For some reason, I remember it as the first movie, but she remembers which movie it was. But what I used to do is unannounced, like as a surprise, I'd just go to school, dismiss her out of school, and we'd go to a matinee. And this was one of those movies. And it was
nice.
So I always read Kung Fu Panda because I'm like, hey. And it got to the point where it was like, she'd just be sitting in class. And I did it like every year. And she'd be sitting in class and be like, Meg, to the office, and everybody else, when you hear that, it's like, oh no, what happened? What's going on? And Meg's like, going to the movies. So, but yeah, this was one of them, and it was great. We had a blast with it. But yeah, oh yeah, every
nice.
time I see this, and when I saw them come out, I'm like, gotta get that one. Yeah. So
Yeah, well, I mean, it's so get it for the sentimentality, Deej.
yeah.
But also for the
home theater.
incredible home theater experience. Yeah, it's great.
Awesome.
And of course, Sophia and Victoria, you know,
Yeah.
they may well like them as well. So you've got a good excuse to get them.
There we go.
And then, you know, it really was a very pleasant surprise.
Awesome.
So I definitely recommend it.
Cool. All righty then.
And of course, it's where I nicked my "prepare for awesomeness" from, because I do like that. That's where that phrase comes from.
Exactly. So, let's see. What else do we got?
Do you want to do with a couple of the biggies next? Is that one too? Or there's the couple of potential top 10 of the year in January ones. Do you want to do the?
All right.
Do you want to do that? Because you got a good perspective on that.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, well, I have a fun. I don't think I have a different perspective than you, but
No. But you have got. But you've done more.
I've got a perspective. This is That's all right. Yeah, I'm very excited to talk about this one.
Okay,
Make it, Steve, 'cause I've already talked about it, and now I have a new perspective. But yes.
Okay. So this is Tron Ares on. Now this version was on Disney Plus, and this because it came out on like the Wednesday or something, and then on Disney Plus and in IMAX enhanced, as it says on the screen there. And then on the following Monday, the disc came out, and I have to admit, I've got the disc. I bought it when it came out, but I haven't watched it yet. So this. My excitement is all based on the IMAX enhanced version of it. So we've talked ad nauseum about Tron 1 and Tron Legacy over the past few months, having seen those on 4K disc. So I was eagerly looking forward to this because I hadn't seen it. I didn't see it in theaters. Shane Lee was raving about it and was, you know, and we were both really looking forward to it. And of course, you really enjoyed it when you saw the Kaleidoscape version. So I sat down with relatively high expectations, and on it went. Now I watched it all in one go, and in terms of the movie, I mean, for me, this is the weakest of the three by some distance in terms of the film. The story is there is, and I'll give credit where it's due. There is a review on Blu-ray.com of the disc that ends with, "This is a stunning audio and video experience in search of a story."
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly right. And when I read it, I thought, I'm going to nick that. Because
as long as you footnote it, you're good.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. It was there. Say your references. Yeah. As a movie, I just thought it was very, very silly. Seen it, done it before. And again, as I've said before, my problem with this was I had more questions than answers, and the questions that kept coming had nothing to do with the story. So I had clearly was not going along with the drama, because I'm thinking, well, okay, so if this stuff comes from the computer world into the real world, physics people, how do these things fly? How do they work? You know, and I was thinking about all this stuff, and so clearly that was not working. So I thought the film was not great. However, luckily, the audio and the video are stunning.
Yes.
And that's just for the Disney Plus version.
Right.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
In IMAX enhanced. I mean, it is a thing of absolute wonder. This could be a new benchmark for streaming for me in terms of its look and its sound. I mean, it was like going to an IMAX presentation. I felt I was in the front row with a massive screen, and every time it went wide, it just pulled me into it. And so I almost didn't care as much about the story, because I was just bathing in the visuals and loving the thumping audio, you know, the bang, 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 all through. So weak movie, fantastic presentation. And I can't wait to see the disc at some point when I get back to it, because loads of other stuff. So, but what we're going to come on to talk about, in a bit, we will have time. I saw this and another movie we're going to talk about back to back, right, on an afternoon, and both were streaming. And both of these could very easily be in my top 3, if not top 5, of experiences of 2026, and we're only on the 3rd week of January.
Exactly. And so that's and all right. So let's touch on that before I get to my perspective.
Yeah.
So I have this at number 1.
Mm.
And I have the other one we're going to talk about in a minute at number 2.
Mhm.
Is that your order, or would you reverse it? Because like we have no other competition right now, and that's
Yeah,
why like
yeah.
I already filled it in, and I'm like, as the year goes on, I'm going to drop in, and we're going to talk about like the front runner right now is this, okay, and that's where I'm
Yeah,
going.
I think in terms of home theater, yes,
Yeah,
but as a film and a home theater, no.
correct. And this is the discussion though, because we just said like even hashtag dork said the same thing about F1. It's a great movie, which is enhanced. Maybe not a great movie, but F1's a really good movie, which is really enhanced by the home theater experience. You really should experience this in the best possible theater, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's a movie that I can't argue with you. I enjoyed it, but I can't argue with the storyline. It is ridiculous. It's like, but here we are talking about it. Is that not the definition of what a home theater experience? Like you're going to see this multiple times in spite of its story,
Oh yes.
right? So that's why I'm like, and now when I watch other stuff, it might have a great story, but the home theater experience doesn't add up to Tron Ares, right? So that's in the back of your mind. So that's why I have it at number 1. Like, and it doesn't mean we've got a great year ahead of us. It doesn't mean it's going to stay there, but I mean, it is a good way to start. And with that mentality of like the home theater experience of this with that picture, which we're going to talk about, I'll get to my perspective on that in a second, but the Atmos on it is in the between the soundtrack, which is like awesome. It's like a 2-hour music video, but then the action scenes and the bass and everything, it really lends itself like a home theater experience of the year. So, but the picture now, after you've seen, is it coming out on Disney Plus and having the variable aspect ratio, which the Kaleidoscape does not have.
Yeah, neither does the disc.
The disc doesn't have. It got me. I went down the rabbit hole of AB and the bejesus out of this. And you are correct in saying that it could be the new benchmark for streaming because it is very close to the physical version. Okay, from what I've seen and heard so far. The audio is definitely a dip, right?
Okay.
So it's not as dynamic during the action sequences. You don't get the same punch. But when I say that, it's like you have to AB it to notice. And even in the picture, AB, I got so in the weeds with this that I could start to see like, okay, now this is a scene that parts of the movie that weren't IMAX enhanced, where the screen wasn't larger, where going from Kaleidoscape to the stream, it's the exact same scene, same bars, everything. I could see like you start to get that like, all right, it's like a little bit of a haze. I don't want to say haze or anything, but it wasn't just as crisp. But again, if you wouldn't know if you weren't flipping like I was. You wouldn't be able to tell. But I could tell something, and that's on a smaller screen. So I have to imagine maybe that's why it was a little harder for me. My it's only a 75-inch screen. I am sitting close to it, but when you get up into like a 120-inch screen, that's where your streaming is going to suffer. Right. It is going where it's not as crystal clear. It is going to suffer. So I could see it just a little bit here. I can understand people that don't have the perspective I have and aren't looking for the things I'm looking at. They're like, I can't see a difference. I get it. And I'll be honest with you. If I wasn't flipping the way it would be hard for me to see the difference. That's how good the stream was. But there is a difference. So, but overall, like you said, I mean, it is early in the year. And I think what makes it for us to be able to say that is we know how good this is, and it's going to be hard to beat. Right. Like The Rip was really good, but it ain't home theater. Even if these didn't exist, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, this isn't even close to home theater experience of the year. Right. It's not. It's just not. But this one here, I can see going a while and being like, now when the Odyssey comes out, we're going to have to be like, it's going to have to screw up, in my opinion, to not beat this.
Yeah.
But I could see how that could happen. I definitely do. I could see like it could be like a 3.5 hour runtime, and you're just like, I was kind of drained at the end. So you know what I mean? It was like, it's great, it's loud, it's this. I could see that. There's a lot that goes. We're very critical here.
Oh yeah.
No, Christopher Nolan's got his work cut out for him.
You need to come on the show and defend us.
Donkeys don't come easy. Never thought I'd be saying that.
Yeah. If you do want to come on, Mr. Nolan, do feel free.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, no, it was again a fantastic couple of hours in the cinema room.
Yeah.
But just again, and people are saying in the chat, that the story is what just left me cold. It really does. It is nonsensical. And I think the other two do try, I mean, certainly Legacy, but I think the other two try to give you a profound story is the wrong thing to say, but trying to give you a meaty story, something to get your teeth into.
Right.
Whereas this just seems to, and again, TSG says in the chat, he said, and I do agree with this. I think it's right. He said, somebody wrote a news story, it was greenlit, and felt like they never worked on the story more than the paragraph on the treatment page.
Yeah.
Either that's absolutely right, or it's been massively messed around with in post-production. Now, I haven't heard any production woes, and normally that stuff leaks out pretty quickly when a movie doesn't do very well, and it didn't do very well. And I haven't heard that. So I think this is the story they set out to make. It's just a story that we've heard and seen before. I mean, none of it's new, and just so inconsequential. Really weird. And as I said, none of it makes sense in the real world. It just Well, but
I don't hold that to I don't hold that up a lot, because I mean, you look at a lightsaber, you could say the same thing. It's sci-fi, a lightsaber. How do you get the light to stop? I don't know.
But when they say but if I create something in a computer, I don't have to give it physics. I don't have to give it weight. It doesn't have to comply with physics because it's not real. It's in a created universe. But if I take that from that universe and bring it into the real world, now this thing has to comply with the laws of physics. It has to. And so, and there's no attempt to deal with that. It's just like, oh, you're all right. You're all too stupid to even think about this. So we're not even going to explain it. And so I was thinking, well, how does that big staple thing move forward? How is that moving forward?
Staple thing? It's actually more like a staple remover.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that'll do. And how those things on there, it's like, well, how do they fly? Where's the propulsion? How do they, and I'm thinking, well, yeah. And then I'm thinking, well, how do the light cycle trails, how do they work in the real world? Like what are they made from? So then I'm not concentrating on the story.
I always thought that those were lasers and they cut you. And then in this one, they're walls.
Well, yeah, they look a bit like cotton, like toffee apple toffee.
Yeah, but I thought if you touched it, it would burn you, right? Like I always thought it was like the light side that was light, and that was like a laser. So I'm thinking like lightsaber, and I'm thinking that's what's coming out the back. And then in this one, it was like ribbon candy, and if they surrounded you in it, you were trapped, which is what happened. And you can be like, you're like knocking on it to get out, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's light. That's energy? Doesn't that burn you? I was like, that was weird. So you're right. I get, and I was just like, all right, I was just going with it. But to your point, it's like, oh, it looks fantastic.
Lovely, but it just doesn't. It just doesn't make sense. And again, I just found that was just, and again by that. Oh, and also they've got the guy in there, the kind of the comedic relief in there as a chap that's been in a number of movies. And as soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh, okay. Right, we're going to have irritating comic relief for this time, are we? And sure enough, that's what you get, which I don't think, which they haven't had in Tron before, and that also began to grate. But there we go. But still, like I
Yeah.
said, beautiful looking, beautiful sounding,
Absolutely.
and yay.
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 And yes, our front runner for the donkey of the year.
So far, yeah,
Yeah.
man. I mean, it like you say, I agree. It'll have to go some to get beaten. It really will.
Yeah.
It's exceptional.
Yeah. So, all right.
Mm.
All righty. So, all right. You want to go right into our number 2 for the year?
Yeah. Well, probably my number one, I think, in terms of film. And
Oh, okay.
experience,
Yeah. All
but,
right. So, all right. Well, then I'll put that down for you, and then we'll battle it out for the year. See which one's which. So I have them in reverse. This is your number one. We just did my number one. So here we go.
Yeah. So, do you want me to do this one? Set this one up?
Sure, you can open it up.
Oh.
Have I talked about this one yet?
No.
Oh,
You've
okay.
seen it,
So
I think,
we both
before the
seen it.
last-
I saw it on Kaleidoscape. You've seen it
Yeah,
on
I've seen the
disc.
stream. There's no stream. This is
This is a stream as well.
This is Apple
Okay.
TV stream. Yeah. Notice how they're emulating the disc menus.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
quite new. So,
yeah. That's why I thought it was a disc.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
Nice.
not out on disc here for another
Okay.
2 or 3 weeks, I think, maybe a month. So this was so Predator Badlands, and it dropped on. It dropped over there and then dropped digitally as well. And I thought to myself, I'm going to wait because I'd seen it theatrically, and I thought I'll wait for it to hit disc. I know it's coming in February. I'll wait. But then I knew you had it, and I knew you'd seen it. And I had a bit of spare cash, and I thought, I'm not going to do this to myself. And I just watched Tron Ares, and I thought, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to get it. I don't care. So I bought it. Didn't rent it. I bought it. £20, I think it was, 19.99. And I put it on straight away, straight after Tron Ares. And again, as I said, I saw it in theaters. Didn't love it because there were some bits that I didn't particularly like. See my earlier review. But I wanted to see what this was going to be like in Cinema George because I'd had that frustrating theatrical experience of subtitles, and also it didn't look and sound that great in the theater that I saw it in.
Yeah.
So sat down, watched this. Did enjoy the movie a lot more second time. It's still not fantastic. It's not as good as Prey. It's not as good as Killer of Killers, but it's still really enjoyable. And I did enjoy it much more second time, knowing what was coming and where it was going to go. So that was fine. What I wasn't really prepared for, and I very quickly discovered, was just how good even the stream on Apple TV, this one, as I say, was and is. Because right from the get-go, right at the beginning, you get the Yautja Prime, you get the humming and the kind of the stuff from the various things, which reminded me of Northman, by the way. At the beginning, where you get that humming and those voices. And right from the outset, you're like, okay, I'm in for an experience here. And on it went. And the black level issues that I had in the theater were non-existent with this. It looked great. Stuff that I couldn't quite make out in the theater looks perfect at home. And the audio is awesome. When there are moments in this where characters are cleaved in two, and there's one particular scene where this sword that you can see there goes right through something, and as it goes right through the middle of it, and the thing splits, it goes right up the side of the room, right to the back.
Yeah,
and it's cool. And all the way through it's cool. It was a very enjoyable home theater experience, way better than my theatrical experience, and I had a great time with it. This is the way to see this movie, and I can only imagine the disc is going to be better. So tell me why it is, Deej.
I would now. I did not A/B this. I did not compare it to the stream, but everything you said, I can only imagine is going to have more dynamics to it, right? Like more dynamic picture, now depending on how good the stream is going to dictate, like we were saying with Ares, but the dynamics of this, and this is one of those movies that, I saw it in the theater. I believe I saw it in a subpar cinema. I don't think I saw this in the X Plus cinema, but seeing it at home, And then the environments that they're putting in here is there's a lot of dark environments, but there's a lot of detail in pretty much every scene, which makes, to your point, like makes that the picture so important and engaging. And it's very vibrant too for a relatively what you would consider a dark movie. It's not a horror movie. It's not that. But what I mean by, I'm not talking about lighting. I'm talking about like, this is a difficult movie. The story itself is like, there's a lot of substance, in my opinion, to the story in that the way these characters are interacting with each other. But the picture would almost be like the vibrancy and everything. I go to like Thor Love and Thunder type vibrancy in a world that isn't meant to be necessarily comic booky. If that, do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Like the settings here, that's like, this is supposed to be like Badlands. This is supposed to be like bad stuff happens. And somehow at the end of it, I felt like the characters were in peril. They're not people, right? So that gives you a little separation. Obviously we have our history with the, Predator and going back to 1986, and it's a bad guy, but now you're looking at it in a different light over the years, and you understand their society, what they're doing. So that gives you a different perspective. But the vibrancy and everything of the blades, of the colors and all of this stuff, and the jungle and the different settings that you go into, whether it be a jungle or inside some cabin or wherever not cabin, but you know what I mean? Some of the facilities that you're in. I felt like, to your point, like the picture just really is like a home theater experience. And then the audio, that's same as before. It's like the Atmos, the directionality of those cuts, the action scenes of things spinning around the room. I forget what the scene was, but there was a scene where it's like stuff is going around the room. I forget exactly what it was, but it was like the camera perspective. There's one that I'd love to talk to John about where you're talking about like this, a kind of a kung fu scene where like separated and she's like kicking butt in two places, which is kind of cool. And I'm thinking like the choreography of that, which is hysterical. And if you haven't seen it, you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you've seen it, you're like, yeah, I know what he's saying. But I thought that was really cool. And the sounds of that, like, cause she's in, you know what I mean? It's like her mouth was further away from her feet than you would expect. So you heard all that, and it made it fun. That stuff is fun, right? So it does. It gives you that whole entire home theater experience where every part of this was utilized. Sound, the entire room was utilized for that. And same with the picture. So.
Yeah, it's a playful sound mix at times as well, which I really like, which is what you're getting at there. It was really, really good. But the bass is decent, separation is decent, the atmospherics are great. I mean, that bit that you're seeing there, which is slightly out of context for the film, but with the sort of the tree creature thing, so they're all zipping around the room, and the branches are moving and trying to get him as he's running, and that's all changing. I've watched it 2 or 3 times, not the whole film, but certain bits of it 2 or 3 times since I've had this. I've got to get my money's worth having bought it. It's a really, really good mix. Very, very cool. And again, I can only imagine that the disc is going to be better. I can't wait to see it when it comes out. Very, very cool. Really good experience is what I would say. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So I have it number 2. So far, because I would put it a notch down, because I just thought the action sequences and the way that lighting, the dark, the reds of air, it just was so dramatic that I was just like, and again, and I didn't touch on this, about the, variable aspect ratio compared to the non-variable aspect ratio of Ares. And I thought it added to it, but I didn't think it was, super important. Like if you go with just the straight, there was like, you'd be like, okay, like I didn't miss it. It was great when you had it. I would prefer it if I could get it like on Kaleidoscape. That is the way I would watch it. But I also wouldn't, even with that slight difference, I wouldn't sacrifice that slight difference for that. Right.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't seen my disc of it yet.
yeah.
I would, again, I wish it had the variable aspect ratios because I loved how that looked. But again, Jordan saying in the chat, and old school Kung Fu films as well, that the disc is awesome. So yeah, I'll give it a go. But I would love to have had the VAR stuff would have been very nice. But never mind. Can't have everything. Damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Just
you want to do the one you were itching to talk about?
Yeah.
Go
All
on,
right.
man.
Yeah, before we get to that, it's like I did go. I didn't bring an image of it or bring up an image of it or anything, but because of doing the Tron Ares, I told you before the show, I actually went into the weeds with one of my favorite variable aspect ratio movies, where I felt it was important, is Oppenheimer, and experiencing, and that one you do get it on disc in variable aspect ratio, but nowhere else. And I did the ABing with that, and I do enjoy the variable aspect ratio of that, and I feel like it is part of the story. So that to me, it's like, but if I had to only watch it in, a stagnant format, that's what it's still not bad, but I do like the back and forth. In Oppenheimer, and that's my preferred view. Whereas in Tron Ares, I can't really say that's my preferred view. It's like I wouldn't sacrifice the picture and the picture quality and audio quality for streaming I did like it better on the Kaleidoscape with the stagnant view. So
I will definitely see it again, but it won't be for a while. It might be for when we're doing our end of year lists that I revisited. I don't think I revisited it before then.
Okay. All right. Let's get to
one then. Oh yeah, one of your favorites.
It's a kind of a staple to the entire podcast. So everybody will know in a second. So here we go. So you saw this before me and said it was out. And did you already talk about it and then I watched it, or did you?
No. It's only dropped. It only dropped recently. Yeah, it only dropped recently, and then I saw it. Obviously because I put it in the thing in there, and of course you then ordered the disc. But yeah. So do you want to do the opening bit?
Sure. So this is friend of the show, buddy of mine. We call him Iron Eagle here, for deep cut there. Todd Henderson. We talked about this one of the first times he was on Under Siege. So Under Siege, we both had way back when he actually watched it on Kaleidoscape. I didn't have mine at the time. I watched it on disc, and that was like his first appearance on the show. Well, now it has dropped on disc. And in 4K, and it was Arrow. I got my copy here right after Steve bought his, and it's in 4K. No Dolby Vision, I don't believe. Right? No good. No, I don't see it. It didn't have Dolby.
You've got the disc there. You've got the thing there. Yeah.
Yeah. But it does have Dolby Atmos. So nice, really nice picture. I thought the picture on it was the picture on it I thought was much improved. I did some A-Bing with that, with the Kaleidoscape and this. In the Kaleidoscape, it's still in HD. And the audio I thought was improved, but I didn't think it was as big of a jump as the picture.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Did you do any A-Bing yourself?
No, I don't got time for that, Deej. I know I didn't, I must admit, but I know it well enough, having seen it on, I've seen this on VHS and DVD and Blu-ray and now HD, 4K HD Blu-ray. So I like to think I know the movie very well and how it has looked in the past. And I agree with you. I think this is a fairly dramatic improvement over the previous ones. It's brighter, but in an appropriate way. So the brights are brighter, the darks are darker. Then that's obviously your HDR. But but I think it looks more dimensional as a result of that, and there's extra detail as well. And I think that's immediately apparent because, of course, it is a 185 movie, so it fills your screen. So there's nowhere for a bad transfer to hide.
Right.
But I think they've done a lot of work on this. It's not overly grainy. It's not been messed with in that respect. I think it's a tasteful remaster, and it really does enhance how it looks.
Yes.
I mean, don't let that image fool you. That's a moving menu, and that was the
Yeah,
best
yeah.
one you could get. So anyone looking at it thinking, "Oh God, that doesn't look that great," that's not representative of the movie itself. I think if you know the film and if you like the film, you'll be very, very pleased with how it looks. And I did think the audio though does have some playful elements to it. We talked about it via text. So there are scenes in a situation room where you've got people talking over an intercom, a PA system,
Yeah.
to everybody in the room. And what is cool is in an Atmos setup, those voices come from over the top, right above you.
Yeah.
And so you feel like you're in the situation room, and you've got the various people moving around, and you've got phones going off, and there's but above you you've got the voice beaming in. And I thought that was a very cool little touch. I like that. That was fun. That was an element of this that we've never had before. In the past, it just felt like it was coming through, wherever, like a speakerphone or something.
Even with our
up
upmixing, it didn't have the directionality that you're getting a little bit. And it's same thing. The scenes in the hull, and the is cavernous a word or whatever? Like
cavernous,
of being on the ship, it's like the cavernous of everything. It was more enhanced with the Atmos, track. But I felt like we were saying before, like the picture on it was, oh my God, was it so much more clear? It's like there's a scene early on where they're talking inside and they go outside. It's like right after they took the ship and they go out for like a little meeting or whatever. And they're not meeting, but they're talking. And now that you have the, maybe they hadn't taken the ship. They were talking about the birthday party. And you have the sun in the background, and you have all this in the clarity. I went back and forth on that, and the clarity and the lighting, how the brights were really bright, even in the HD, but it didn't drop off as nicely as it does with the HDR. And it's so like you got, and there were some difficult shots that in HD it was fine, but it was, Paul, what is this? Cavernous. How much more cavernous could it be? Cavernousness. Yeah, cavernousness. Could it be? None more cavernous. Okay, yeah, you're making my point, kind of. It's like you're trying to duplicate it. They did a better job of duplicating the cavernousness. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I thought the picture was really, really enhanced, whereas the audio, it's a little bit hard. It's an older track. It's a little harder, but they did do it. This isn't like going like Twister went from what it was with the Atmos track to today. It's not reinventing the track, but it is enhancing the track.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely better. And again, this is the way to see it. I mean, there is a marked improvement. And I'm not the biggest fan of this film. I like it, but I don't love it. But this is how to see it. And I am glad I've got this version of it, because if I ever, want to see it again, this is the one you'd want to go to. So I'm very glad I picked it up, and fair play to Arrow. It's an Arrow release.
Yeah.
You can tell from the colored bar at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because they can be, and I've said before, they can be hit and miss. I've had some of theirs that are like, it's all right, but not great. Whereas this, I think, is a significant improvement. They've done work on this. And I think it was Andrew Davis approved, the director approved it. So it's, very, very cool.
Yeah, really, really. Yeah, really good. And it's funny, one of the things I was thinking of watching this movie is like a lot of people, like the reviews way, way back when it came out, it's like, it's Die Hard on a boat, right? And it's like, so movies like this suffer because Die Hard exists. And so it got me to thinking while I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, it's Die Hard on a boat. They duplicated a lot of the same things. Like they back-ended like, they took over the boat. It was a different version with a different reason than you thought. It's not exactly like Die Hard, but it's the same premise, right? So rate the movie then if Die Hard didn't exist. would this have been the Die Hard? Would people be saying this is like, say you swap the two movies,
Mhm.
Die Hard comes out after Under Siege. Is this, is Die Hard Under Siege in a building?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to see.
Do you see what I mean?
So this is 92. I'm trying to see when did Speed come out? Because Speed, that was 94, so that was well after this.
Yeah.
trying
Speed
to
was
think-
Die Hard on a bus.
Yeah, well, exactly. And
You know what I mean? It was like
Mm.
they did the same idea. Like,
So was it Sudden Impact? Was the Jean-Claude Van Damme ice hockey movie? Die Hard in an ice rink?
I
that
think
Sudden
so.
Impact? Not Sudden
Yeah,
Impact,
that where they
was that-
took over, like, and that was Pittsburgh
Not Sudden
Penguins
Impact, it wasn't
facility,
Sudden
the
Impact, was it?
Igloo. Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
Igloo.
What was it? What was it?
Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna have to find out.
Yeah.
Okay. Unless someone can tell me in the chat. Damn ice hockey movie. Let's see what it was. I don't think
Yeah.
it was Sudden Impact.
Yeah, and as Jordan saying, Under Siege, Die Hard on a boat, Under Siege 2, Die Hard on a train. And it's,
Um,
but that's, you know what I mean? But like, I would say no. I would say if Under Siege came out first, I'd look at Die Hard and go, well, they just did it better,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
you know?
I can't find that. Oh man, it's annoying me now. Sorry, sorry. Dave.
What are you looking for?
What is the ice hockey movie? Was it Sudden Impact? It wasn't, was it?
I think
The
so.
one
It
where
was,
where
it
he's
was Van
trapped in
Damme.
the ice-
It was
yeah,
Van
was
Damme.
Van
So
yeah, let me have a look.
just look at Van Damme's.
I am. Oh, it's filmography. Yeah, I'm looking now. No, it's not Double Impact, not Double Team. Sorry, I'm derailing the show, but I need to know.
No.
In my head, I need to know. Got to know.
Not
Right.
double. Double teams.
No, what was it called? Right, I'm nearly there in his thing. Sudden Death. Thanks, buddy. Old school.
Oh, was it
Good man.
Sudden Death?
Sudden Death. That makes sense then, doesn't it? Because that's what they call it at the end, isn't it? Sudden Death overtime or whatever it is.
Yeah, in hockey it was Sudden Death.
Yeah.
all the time they
There you
had,
go.
but
Thanks, Old School Kung Fu Films. You're a legend. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
So that was Die Hard in an ice hockey rink.
Yeah, and Sudden Death was in 95.
Ooh,
Is
no,
that,
I don't know.
is it 95? So it came after.
it
So
was-
all
yeah,
of
it
these
was,
came
yeah.
like after.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Die Hard broke the mold. You know,
Right.
there's no question that everything after that, the elevator pitch after that was Die Hard Inner, wasn't it?
Exactly. And that's
Mhm.
my point. It's like, so like, would this be like, if this is not as good as it like if Die Hard never existed, this movie still wouldn't be considered like, oh my God, that was such a great
Yeah.
movie. It's
Yeah. Mhm.
fun, you
Mhm.
know, but it's just not the same. It's not the same idea. It's not the same writing. It's not the same movie
No.
as Die Hard, but it is
No.
fun.
It
It is
is, and that's exactly it. To me, it's a fun movie that I enjoy. I'm never bored during it. I don't dislike it. It's just
Yeah.
I don't love it. I don't quite love it. And watching it again kind of reminded me of why it's good, but it's not great. And Seagal, obviously everything we know about Seagal, both at the time and since, doesn't really help it either, because you kind of, what was going on at the time of this would, he allegedly, he wasn't a very pleasant chap to be around, and that feeds into this a little bit for me. But it's a fun film, and again, I'm glad I've got it and in this version as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh,
absolutely.
Jordan's got Cliffhanger, Die Hard on a Mountain. Indeed, Cliffhanger's a great disc, by the way. If you haven't got that in 4K, that's an awesome
Yeah.
disc.
Yeah, absolutely. It like again, that's all. The best thing you can say about this is like if you're a fan of the film, absolutely must own.
Oh
If you're
yeah,
a fan, because it is an
100%.
upgrade. Yeah, it is a great home theater experience, upgraded from what it was. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
it's very cool.
all right.
Alrighty. Cool. We've got through quite a bit there. I think we've done quite well there.
Yeah, exactly. All right. For next week, next Thursday, hopefully I'll get some stuff in. But we do still have plenty of stuff on the docket here.
Oh yes, including a film that I'm going to be very curious to talk to you about, and with your dad's experiences as well. A film I finished earlier today. It's the most recently added one.
Most
going to be fun to talk to you about. Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
Oh, jeez. My
Yeah,
dad's
I know,
experiences
I know.
with that
It's
one.
just- I know.
Oh my God.
That's going to be a fun discussion, that one.
Yeah, that's wicked funny. All right. Yeah, and that leaves them guessing.
Oh yes,
For sure.
yeah.
So, while we were chatting earlier, I checked. I don't know if I've updated everybody, but we are now in 71 countries,
Ooh.
up to 71.
Right.
I don't think I've said that before. I think that's a big jump. I think the
Yeah,
last
wasn't it
time we
like
were
60 or
early,
something? 58, 60? Yeah.
early 60s, 61, I think was the last. And our most recent ad is China.
Oh,
I mean, that's a big one. That's billions of people.
yeah.
As of right now, only one of them's one. We got.
Are we sure we've not been pirated? We've not been copied over there, have we, Deej? Is it
Maybe
it's a knockoff version of us? I'm thinking.
Okay, well, it can't be, because if it was a knockoff, we wouldn't be getting credit for it. The knockoff would get the credit, right? This is somebody maybe to compare us to the knockoff.
The knockoff's got 500 million.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, we have one lucky Chinese person.
Awesome. Fair play.
That's all you need. It's going to just spread like wildfire. Look out.
Yeah, I'm not going near that. Yeah, not from Wuhan, I hope.
Yeah. Oh God. All right. On that, yeah. So everybody, 71 countries around the world. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thanks to all the Patreon supporters. Most recent, Bryce Nicole. Thank you very much. And if you can't support us monetarily, just tell your friends, tell them about us, and that's how we spread the bright side of everything, I guess, right? Yeah. And I'm the most successful I've ever been. There you go.
Oh yes.
Oh God. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. We'll be back next week. Again, we'll be back next week for the live show. We'll be on Thursday. Audio only will come out on time. So until next time, you know what you got to do. Nope, that's not it. Where did it go? There we go. All right. Until next time, maybe I'll know what I got to do. You know what you got to do.
Go push play.
What he said.
That's right.
Hey, Fred.
This has been a Hey Fred production with theme music by Jeff Bernhardt and Throne Vault Productions.